You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The views expressed by the individuals during this broadcast are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
Good evening and welcome to the Pace Radio Show. We're live here at paceradio.net. Hello, Tamara. Let me turn my light on. There we go. Now I can see. How you doing?
Everybody always thinks I'm yellow. I do TikTok lives.
Yellow?
Go, why do you look yellow? Well, it's because of the lamp that sits beside me, right? And it's got a yellow, beige, light shade to it, right? So everybody's like, why do you look yellow? Are you sure you're not Jonas? I'm like, look at my fucking eyes. They're white. There's nothing wrong with it.
You've been at work all day. They haven't even had a chance to get red.
Yeah. Well, I've been home since 3 today. So actually, and Alvin started watching The Blacklist, and I started I've seen most of it, right? The first few seasons, and now it's on the TV. It's like, so now I'm glued to it too, because that's a really good series on Netflix. It's called The Blacklist.
Oh, okay, yeah. I couldn't tell you. I haven't heard of it. I don't. It's hard for me to sit down and watch a movie, watch a show that's an hour and a half long. I fall asleep.
You know, the thing is with this stupid thing, I haven't watched Netflix for a long time because I'm pretty attention deficit and can't sit either. There's no commercials.
No.
None. No. You just sit and watch like fuck forever. It's just ridiculous. You lose all track of time. It's just nuts.
You gotta hit the pause button.
I gotta walk away from it. That's why I watch the news, because it's just background blooding, because it kind of just repetitively the same shit over and over again all day.
It's short.
So it doesn't matter, right? And it's short. Yeah, exactly.
Short. Yeah. We try to watch movies every weekend and just fall asleep.
I know, right? It's either that or I can't sit still. It's either it has to catch my attention.
Yeah.
Or I'm up and moving. It's like, I can't watch this. I'm up and
gone. Something I saw online today. Well, not just today. I guess it was maybe the other day. Did you guys get some snow or something?
They did. I didn't. We didn't here in town. But in the Kootenai Pass.
Yeah.
All across the Rogers Pass, across the Sama, they did get snow. In the higher elevations, absolutely.
Wow.
Like, I'm sitting here in a sweater. This is what I wore to work today. Was this sweater? I got my heating blanket, right? And I figured,
heating blanket.
You know, I can put this heating blanket away. I'm not going to need it, right? It's June.
Right. Yeah.
It's on 6, and I'm cuddled up in it. And it's the 17th, or what is it? The 19th. It's the 19th of June.
Yeah. Exactly. That's heating blanket. Wow. Well, just so you know, over here on the other end of the country.
Yeah, you're burning up.
we're feeling like 104 Fahrenheit is what we're feeling like.
I know. Oh, but here was something amazing. So on Sunday, there was Neil Magnuson's memorial.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And they live streamed it. Tamara was going around the room. And I looked. And there was Naomi and Chelsea.
Yes. There it was.
So I sent Chelsea a message. I see you. She starts laughing. I said, give your mom a hug for me. Because I couldn't get there, obviously. But I was on the live stream. But yeah, I sent her a message. I can see you. And then I was texting back and forth with Amy TV. But what an amazing send-off that was. It was beautiful.
There was. I seen some comments, people talking about Kleenexes and things like that. It was and it was very well done.
Yeah, Cindy and Glenn did an amazing job. And then there was the burial the next day. I didn't have time to do that. I had to work, but I got home in time on Sunday because it was 2:00 Pacific Standard, which is 3:00 my time. So it worked out perfectly that I could get there and be there and watch it. So
good.
That's great.
Yeah.
Hang on. I got a yapping dog. Where's my clicker? No, I got a clicker now.
What's that? What do you do with the clicker? Was that collar?
It sets off a high piercing
Oh,
sound that they can hear.
right.
Ah,
Well, I'm gonna play a little video while you're gone.
yeah.
I'll be right back, folks. So Tamara. There you go.
Some colas. Look at the size of them buds. Those are big. Those are amazing.
I'm gonna say probably 2 or 3 pictures in there weren't actually of anything from my garden, but the rest of them were. And I don't know. I don't normally show my garden pictures over
you
the years.
should.
So I created the videos as a way
I have taken buds from both bags that you sent me and stashed them away for when I'm like, right? Because I didn't want to smoke it all. It's not good that I'm saving that for a special occasion, right? Because you don't always get that kind of flavor and quality, especially now. Not a lot of us are growing anymore, right? Or like my friends and stuff. They're close to me that used to give me. I don't have anybody anymore that does that, so I really, really appreciate that.
You're welcome. Yeah, it's just easier. Some people look at it. It's just easier to go to the store and buy it. You know, same idea as when alcohol changed.
I would prefer to be able to grow my own, honestly, but I don't have the power still. Like, and even if I had the power, do I have the time? You know what I mean? Like,
you're down, like, you're on the main drag or whatever downtown there, and for you to grow outside.
Somebody ripped me off. They've been gone. Yeah. In 2 minutes flat. I can't leave my dogs outside. I'm feared that somebody's going to come and snake one away from me because there's a crack shop right across the alley, right? Like, yeah. It's bad. If this wasn't my grandparents' house, honestly, I would move because of the area as bad as it's gotten, and it just doesn't feel like home anymore.
No, eh?
No.
That's too bad because it's a family home, right?
Yeah, but again, like I said, it just with the way the neighborhood's like, there's nobody familiar anymore. There's a bunch of people that use substance abuse and stuff going across the alley. The lady that lived next door, she's died now too. And her kids moved in, and there were a bunch of orangutans as well. And
yeah.
Not really a neighborhood to be in.
As far as those bud shots there, I got I've created a folder with a little more than 450 photos in order to create videos. So I've got I got 6 of those videos that I got together, and I got more stuff to add. Like now I can back then I wasn't doing video stuff, I was just taking a bunch of pictures, but now that I'm growing outside, I was taking some videos and stuff. So,
And now that you're really like out of a community, because you're always kind of in a little community wherever you live.
I was always, I was in town all
You
the
can
time.
really like, but now that you're out somewhere where you can really let them grow to their full potential, like 12 feet tall if you want to, nobody's gonna see them,
Pretty close. Very close.
right?
Yeah.
And that's amazing. Like that's why, again, when we were at the farm, we had 7 kilometers between neighbors, right? You can do again, but you got that ability now, and that's just amazing.
Yeah, like our neighbor to the one direction, north. Yeah, north, I think. Yeah, quarter, half mile away.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's kind of changed out here because too with the legal stuff going on, BC's really like kind of over legislated things too. To be fair, with having that little clause in the Cannabis Act in BC that no, you can't be on everywhere.
Yeah, that's obviously causing some issues, and it's not the only. You're not the only province that's like that because the East Coast, I believe it's New Brunswick, is looks at it the same way.
Well, even Nova Scotia, they don't have private stores in Nova Scotia. It's all through their liquor control board. Every store is a provincially owned store in Nova Scotia. They don't have private stores in Nova Scotia. Anyone that's running a store,
yeah, but there was
the Revs are First Nations.
Yeah, I'm just thinking that there was some information that came out that talked about what provinces allowed or didn't include the First Nations under their cannabis laws, whereas other provinces did.
Yeah, October 1, 2, right? It's just changed all their legislations.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Okay, I think because this was the Nova Scotia court rejected that a week ago. We didn't discuss that?
Having private stores.
What's that?
It rejected them having private stores.
Nova Scotia's court has rejected the claim that members of a First Nation can operate cannabis stores outside of the provincial and federal cannabis regulations.
I was told that they've got a couple of them. Deb said there was one not too far from her place.
Oh yeah. There's some down there. Talking with Glenn, they've got them there in New Brunswick, but this is about Nova Scotia.
Yeah. Well, no, I was just talking to Deb right before the show actually, and I said, "Hey, you got an extra harvest kit, fucking John Cup kit hanging around?" She goes, "No, they sold out in 2 days." I said, "That's terrific."
Yeah.
That's amazing. So yeah, I guess I'm hooped.
Okay, but even though the court rejected the argument, they have instructed them within the ruling to let them know that, hey, bring a stronger argument. We want to hear more.
Right.
This isn't so it's not done. But it is the fact that they did turn down that argument of being, that the First Nations had the right to do it.
Well, they should. That's like somebody was complaining about, they're opening stores just without any licensing in downtown Toronto. And they said, so they should be able to. Who cares? Everything is theirs. Let them. Why should they have to? I don't know.
Excuse me. Oh.
So I just looked up. The Manitoba government is lifting its ban on homegrown recreational cannabis.
Yes.
At the same time, introducing a temporary moratorium on new licenses for controlled access stores that sell cannabis in urban areas. So that's a huge switch change over too from being a conservative government to an NDP government. Yes.
There's no doubt about that. And that didn't take long. It's not as quickly as I'm sure some people would like it to happen, but it was.
He's only been in office for 4 months, I think.
Yeah, there was some things obviously that were priority, and there was a delay because the opposition opposed it, so that slowed things down, right?
They don't have much of an opposition, though, do they?
Well, they just beat them. Be the Conservatives, right? Now I'm trying to find that spot that said, but I don't. Unfortunately, I don't see it because there's another case going on down there on this as well, the First Nations. But yeah, talking about the good old Conservatives. I don't think we discussed this last week in the news, and that was that there was a Conservative MP says that he would vote to recriminalize cannabis if given.
I saw that.
What? Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, no, I saw that.
I was like, what? No, thank you. And yeah, he just said this in an interview with the Liberal. He was having an interview with Liberal. So the Liberal is Erskine Smith, Nate Erskine Smith, and the Conservative was Arnold Viersen.
Of course it was. Arnold Viersen's the one that's put every legislation, tried to put every legislation forward to end abortion, give fetus a name by the name of George. He's just a horrible fucking man from Alberta.
He is, eh?
Arnold,
Well,
he's the worst.
Yeah, well, Nate asked him, Nate, who suffers from Crohn's disease, hello. He says, well, if you vote to recriminalize cannabis, you're going to make me a criminal again. Right?
Right.
That's not good. And let's see what else.
Also know of the benefits with the cash, with the taxation, right?
Yeah.
They were going to lower the GST too, and what they did by 1 point.
Mm-hmm. They bring up Marilyn Gladue. She was the one who talked about the toaster ovens. Do you remember that?
Marilyn Gladue, pardon?
Do you remember the toaster ovens?
The what?
People. That's how people consume cannabis, with toaster ovens. You don't remember that?
No.
Here, I'll have to do a search here.
The name Marilyn Gladue rings a bell. She didn't see, we had Standy Smith out here in Vancouver with Mothers Against Drugs or whatever the fuck her name was. The crazy one too.
Yeah.
It's the same one.
Okay, well, this is in the Sarnia Journal. And let's see what it says. Yeah. I remember when it all came out. It was quite the controversy.
Jesus, I've never. The weirdest part about any of this stuff is that people actually believe it.
Yeah.
Seriously, I want to just be like.
Okay, here we go. This is what the journalist or the newspaper says to her. Okay. I'm going to bring this up on the screen so people can see this themselves. I'm just not. I'm not making this stuff up. Okay.
This is not fake news.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Okay. There's the journal. There's journal article. Journal. You took some ribbing about a comment you made in the House. What did you mean when you said legalization would encourage?
Oh, Marilyn Gladue. She's a senator. Okay, go. Yeah.
Yeah. Legalization would encourage little Johnny to put some cannabis in the toaster oven and smoke it. She says the reference to the oven comes from university days when she didn't partake, but hung around with a bunch of engineers who grew cannabis in their closets. And they would, and then they dry the stuff in the toaster oven and then roll it up and smoke it.
That makes sense.
People did that, yeah. But obviously, when it was out in the news, some people were really throwing it around as that's how the kids were smoking it. It's like that, it's like apparently there's people now who microwave cannabis.
Yeah, we were talking about that show prior.
We talked about it once.
It was, and it was wet, cut off a branch, thrown in a bag, and sold to you.
Yeah.
bucks. So you'd have to cut it up and put it on a plate and put it in the microwave. We used to put it on the top of the lamp. And
I
they
was
have
gonna say, the lamp. Oh, I
right?
know, but those, yeah, not anymore.
All you could get back in the late 80s was hash, honestly, or oil. And it was black, gross, fucking like tar black oil that tasted like fucking motor oil. Probably was. Some guy got busted at fucking Rainbow Wreck in Lethbridge when I was going to school, and it was molasses.
Yeah.
So who fucking knows what the fuck we were smoking?
Right. It says here recently another conservative MP has called on the federal health minister to take issues with medical cannabis home grows.
Yeah.
That says recently.
I know.
Okay, that's not something that's from 2019.
You have these
wow.
small backwater Albertan conservatives
Yeah.
that fill the backbench of that conservative party, right? Because you've got, I don't know how many conservative MPs that come out of Alberta, but they're all conservative, every single one. So you probably have 40 MPs that come out of Alberta alone.
Wow.
Right? So you've got all those 40 fucking rednecks running the fucking asylum, right? And then fucking Poilievre's from fucking Alberta too, and so was Harper. So you got people that hate fucking people from down east running the asylum.
Yeah. Now, just so you know, Erskine Smith said that the sky hasn't fallen since legalization, but Gladue claims that's not true. She says that there is under enforcement of the regulations, infiltration of organized crime, and a 32% increase in drug impaired driving.
Oh, that's pretty funny when we see that the crime rates have gone down by 95%. So where's the balance in that? Because wouldn't impaired driving be a crime and considered a crime?
It's crime.
So
Well,
if the crime rates have gone down by 95%, how can the impaired driving impairment by cannabis go up 32%? Make it make sense.
Now, she also criticized legalization for allowing provinces to manage distribution and sales. Are you telling me that she'd probably turn around and complain that the federal government was controlling it all if they didn't allow the provinces to do that?
Marilyn Gladue would love nothing more than to everything be ran privatized.
She
owns her own private companies.
Her biggest complaint was the number of stores here in Ontario. Not even mentioning the fact that Ontario has a progressive conservative government.
But did they have Ford? Yeah, you did have Ford back in.
Yeah. Now everybody on the Conservatives voted against legalization except for one, and he was punished for that, and that was Scott Reid here in Ontario. I remember when he did that. Yeah, they all got mad at him for that. But I know people, advocates that were really happy that he spoke out and.
You know what? They're not really supposed to represent their constituency. They're supposed to represent the party line.
Well, that's bullshit. But that's I know. But I agree.
They don't. They absolutely. You should see the look on people's faces when I tell them that
it's party over
voted
people.
No for seniors to get that extra $3,100 a month, right, or a year, or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
He voted no for seniors to have dental care. He voted no for free birth control. Like they go, "Are you kidding me?" I'm like, "No, I'm not."
Yeah, no, we gotta have our cannabis, and I don't. I'm sure there's something else in that article. I've already closed it off, but there's something else in that article to do with gardens, not only. Yeah,
he's an ex-RCMP, my MP. He lobbied against having legal stores in our town. He lobbied against the nursery that was supposed to be put over here. The reason why that nursery was never put in was because of our fucking conservative MP.
Oh.
He lobbied to have that poor guy. Nope, there was no way.
Yeah. So, within that article is also something to do with not only the patients growing, but even just recreational growing. Because if they're going to take away if they had no problem taking away the patients' privileges to grow cannabis, then, for them to take away the recreational, that argument I can't see being the same as a medical argument when it comes to liberty and all that under Section 7.
Well, like I said, we have to go back and think if we thought about having the,
Yeah, well, they
100-centimeter limit on.
yeah, it'll remain legal. Just look at other countries. Just look at Thailand, see what happened there. Back to
about rolling it back, and that's why we have. And there's no way in fucking hell that we are going to sit back and let them roll it back. We go to court.
No, it won't. It'll never be recriminalized in our country
unless he rips up the charter.
Yeah. I can see him eliminating personal for plants.
I can see him doing a lot of fucking damage, to be fair.
Yeah, but yeah.
And harm reduction and anything having to do with like I said, cannabis specifically too, because it's something that was maybe not. It's maybe not so much because that was Daddy Harper's project.
Harper.
Well, shutting us down. License.
Oh yeah, Harper, which Polyev was part of. He voted for that. He voted yes. Oh yeah, right. yeah, I agree.
The only time that he ever did vote yes.
Yeah. But yeah. Okay, what do we got? We got 2 minutes here. I've got some other stories that I want to touch on. In the fact that, as you know, June, popular month, it's Pride Month, but it's also Indigenous History Month. And Stratcan's got an article with some things that changed, I believe, in the last year on the Indigenous community end of things with cannabis. So we'll get into that after break. And at the Grow Up in Toronto, the event opened, talking about the Indigenous community, the importance of cannabis, and had a ceremonial dance as well.
It's also Men's Mental Health Month too, and I think that should be mentioned too, because cannabis helps a lot of that too, like
sure does.
And myself, I think that the cannabis helps more with just like wanting to kill somebody, which is complex post-traumatic disorder, right?
Yeah, the calming effect, the stress end of things. Well, as one person said, or they had on their T-shirt, cannabis is more Prozac.
Yeah, most certainly.
Alrighty, what do you say? After break, we go. When we get back, we got some more topics to discuss, and we can mention we got some upcoming guests over the next 2 weeks, which we haven't mentioned also. So we'll probably get into that and a few other things. But other than that, you're watching the Pace Radio Show. We're live here at paceradio.net.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, open Monday to Friday from 10 till 7 p.m. or by chance. Check out our flags, our t-shirts, plus our hats, and look of that supply of rolling papers, plus much more. We've got bongs and your favorite herbal vaporizers. Look at all the incense we have, as well as for those who collect knives, check out these knives in our collection. And while you're here, stop in to see Shay at the piercing room, where you can get poked by Shay. Daily deals, check them out. Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford, Ontario.
When you have a pain that's reached its peak, Legacy for 20, it's so unique. If organic cannabis is what you seek, here's your trusted partners 7 days a week. Suppository salves, vapes and drops, topicals, edibles, infused pop. Just when life seems like it ain't easy, at Legacy 420, enjoy a pop freezy. Lab tested products, make them the GOAT. Legacy 420 out on your road. Legacy 420 in Tyndonega Mohawk territory. Indigenous organic cannabis at its finest.
What do you find at paceradio.net? People advocating cannabis education.
Limestone City Hydroponics is Kingston, Ontario's hydroponics shop. Take your growing to the next level and create the optimal environment with a tent kit, or maximize your yield with an ebb and flow flood table kit. Either way, Limestone City Hydroponics has more sizes and options to fit your needs. Are you looking for the power of the sun that adapts to your budget? Then look no further, as they have professional grow lighting. They have indoor grow systems that are easy and cost effective, with many options to fit your living space and lifestyle. Cultivate your growing potential. We have everything you need to succeed. And if you can't make it to the store, they offer local delivery to the greater Kingston area. Remember, when you're looking for experts to help you grow, then look no further than the locally owned Limestone City Hydroponics, 105 Sunderland Drive in Kingston, Ontario. Call them at 613-548-0420.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
And you're watching the Pace Radio Show. We're live here at paceradio.net, and we're just doing our talk here, gabbing away about things that come up in the news or just up online, right?
Right. Which is often like, lots of stuff.
Yeah, well, as I mentioned before the break, Indigenous History Month, and that StratCan had some an article out on that, on the Indigenous cannabis news. And right off the top, obviously, the big story was, we've already touched on it, and that was the Manitoba decision in order to change that over. And it's ridiculous to forbid people to do. It's law. It's Canadian law. And you're not allowing them a right that they're allowed to by law.
Right. And I'm not quite understanding how that even worked, right? They're still doing it in Quebec.
Yeah. And the Supreme Court of Canada agreed with them.
Well, Supreme Court of Quebec.
No. It went right to Canada, right to the top court. Yeah.
Are they appealing it or no?
You can't appeal it. That's the end. Supreme Court. That's it.
You can't appeal a Supreme Court ruling?
No. Who do you appeal to?
Them again.
Yeah.
I don't understand how in one province the Supreme Court would rule, yes, it is a privilege and right for you to do that, but yet in Quebec they would rule against it. That makes absolutely no sense to me either.
All right. Well, I'm just going to bring it up right here.
Well, I'm not doubting it, but I'm just like, doesn't that
I know. Just to help to explain, it's just to help to explain it, because people will wonder, like, what do you mean? How can the Supreme Court of Canada say that Quebec has the right to stop people from growing the cannabis plants? And it says there that they found out that it was constitutional. Quebec's ban on homegrown cannabis plants is constitutional. The ruling is the first case brought before the courts. In Quebec, people can be fined $250 to $750 for having a plant. They say, according to the ruling, the provincial law messes well with the overall goals of the federal one, which include protecting the health and security of the people, steering users away from the black market. Oh, wow.
I don't think anybody going
and they even the Quebec legislators saw the possession and personal cultivation of cannabis not as a social evil to be suppressed, but rather as a practice that should be prohibited in order to steer consumers to a controlled source of supply. So that'd be like, sorry, you can't you can't have the apples out of your apple tree because they're not controlled.
From the store.
They're not coming from the store. Like,
why did
what's the difference?
There's got to be a different argument that they could have they must have had a shitty lawyer, because that just doesn't even seem right to me.
No, I know.
I would be saying that's basically prohibiting the fact that you can't grow tomatoes in your yard.
Well, that's what it basically what it says.
Right? That's just ridiculous. That has got to be the most ridiculous ruling I've ever heard in my life. That's got to be illegal. There's got to be some way to challenge that piece.
in a tweet that says that Quebec Justice Minister applauded the ruling, saying the province's cannabis law aims to protect the health and safety of Quebecers.
So this was only in the Quebec Supreme Court. It hasn't gone.
Right. Right. And see, in Manitoba, their law was different.
See,
So
and
they argued that.
And that patient ruling is only in the BC Supreme Court of Canada too for our patients' rights. It's just kind of covered Canada wide for some reason.
For
it
Canada.
went to Ottawa, right?
What's that?
For our grows. That's
that was Canada wide, correct.
And that's why it's an injunction, right? It's not even a ruling.
Well, it's an injunction that was issued by the court.
By the BC Supreme Court, yeah.
Well, Phelan, I believe he was federal.
No.
Unless they agreed with it.
Or, yeah.
They didn't argue, or they didn't go against it.
No.
Because after that one. Yeah, what was that? The one that the Liberals pulled back on? They said they weren't going to fight it anymore?
Yep.
Yeah. So that'd be why. Okay. So, yeah, Manitoba, welcome to the cannabis growing. And I believe what I had read the last time, they figured the law would be in place sometime. It was almost like fall, like it. By the time it goes through all its processes, right? Can't just flip the switch.
Open the door for a lot of people to do.
Yeah, so it's a good. Sure, it's unfortunate that people can't technically legally grow outside, but would they enforce it? Will they actually arrest somebody for growing 4 plants? Sort of like the possession laws petered off before cannabis legalization, because everybody knew that it was promoted it's going to be legalized. So why are people getting busted for 3 joints, right? So if someone's growing 4 plants, I could sort of see them just sort of ignoring it. Hopefully, is a way to go at it.
Well, we never did anything about that girl in Revelstoke. And they also her golden. She had that garden tour, and she had some plants growing in her yard. Next thing she had an MP up there ripping her 4 plants out of her yard, and there was no charges.
Yeah, no. Huh.
As far as I know.
Okay.
That was a few years back. They pulled them and made a big stink because they were out in public. And she had a garden tour. So it was public.
Yeah. I'm just looking at this this next thing here. They talk about in the article red market controversies, and that was recognizing the illicit versus the legal market, because some of the First Nation businesses are in the legal market and some refuse to be part of it because of sovereign land claims and everything else, and ban treaties and so on and so forth. And so they say that's still an ongoing debate. What's going on? I don't know. You'll have to take a look. Yeah, that's all right.
There's like I said, there with reconciliation, I should think that there should be no boundaries. Just saying.
They say that there are many debates and concerns about the sovereign rights of Indigenous bands and the span of their treaties that can be interpreted to allow cannabis to be sold and regulated outside of Health Canada. They say it's a case-to-case basis. Yeah. And they talk about the one that we just mentioned earlier, the case that's going on in Nova Scotia. Yeah. But they say that New Brunswick said it can't enforce its cannabis laws on First Nation reserves.
They don't have the resources.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. There was a raid recently on an Indigenous store here in Ontario, and that was Indigo Smoke. At that raid, they also picked up cocaine and guns. according to the report that we had on the news.
And that's the thing. Like you're gonna have. There's always a bad apple in the system, whether you're legal or not. You don't know that those legal guys aren't got fucking whatever behind in the back room and guns too. You don't know that just because they're cannabis.
And with this store, like when we reported it on the news on Monday, Cindy and I were talking about it, and I just hate to see, one bad apple, one bad situation, paint the whole indigenous cannabis industry with the same brush, because
I agree. Yeah, and you know it did the same thing with our medical dispensaries though too, and those guys got caught with cocaine and guns in downtown Toronto, right?
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? Why Project Claudia and all these things that they did to all the stores in downtown Toronto too. So they don't you can't let that deter people from doing it though.
Yeah.
Open your store, continuing on. If it was me, I'd be opening the doors the next day with my shelves full, right? Like that's what you do.
Yeah, and I can tell you, normally here in Ontario, the reserves, at least the ones that are around me, they're not getting bothered by the police.
No.
Most
of them are run with banned. Well, I don't know.
Keep it to the cannabis thing. Keep your business clean, and they won't. They don't bother you.
Right? You won't. Somebody would have had to say something, because the police don't usually just roll in. Like there has to be complaints, right?
Yeah.
We all know that. So somebody said something for them to be rated.
Yeah, that's the only thing I could think of. And why would they target that particular store, right?
Right, and not all of them.
No. Yeah, and the last thing to talk about there was the OCS, and their what do you call it, sponsorship program, where they get involved and give assistance or give a hand up or to get a business going. So they talk about that as well.
Nice. Well, that is something that I don't think we have out here.
Yeah, well, it says here that as they say here, since 2021, the OCS social responsibility strategy has focused on the BIPOC community, and they've distributed $375,000 to 6 organizations.
Yep, and all businesses, which is fabulous.
Yeah, I'd like to see that money go up a little more, but still, it's there's something there, right? To get things going.
Well, there are some good things happening.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, yet again, back to the Grow Up conference and expo, they had a whole section of indigenous stores, and as I mentioned as well, the opening ceremonies was indigenous. It's Indigenous Month, and they had a panel as well. I caught part of it, and I've created. What I've done is I've taken the live broadcast from the event, and I've broken it down into 25 different interviews. Nice. And some of them I've got done, some of them I don't yet. And that was one of them, is the sovereign panel discussion that's going on up there. And I would say that they're upset. Yeah. And then I spoke with Six Nations Cannabis Commission, I believe is what they're called as well. And I've seen them at other events as well. Let's see. On to something else to discuss. Next subject. And this comes next in your neck of the woods. And cannabis patio coming to Mission. How far away from Mission are you?
Oh, that's up Vancouver way. Okay. Yeah, that's just outside of right around just on the way out of like kind of Chilliwack, Abbotsford kind of area. So it's down in the Lower Mainland, so it's a ways for me. That's really
Because they say they got a cannabis patio is opened. Cheeky's Cannabis.
Nice.
And they have an outdoor cannabis-friendly patio. It says to join the large family-friendly restaurant and brew pub. So that when I had heard about that, I went, bar?
You
Isn't
can't
there?
have liquor and cannabis in the same area. You're not supposed to. Like, that's regulations unless they've changed them. But as far as I haven't been told that anything's changed that way.
Yeah, they say both
Look it up.
businesses. Yeah. Now, unless it might not be at the Spring Brewing Company. It's probably at Cheeky's Cannabis.
Yeah, probably. And then the brew
Oh.
company could be next door.
Customers of the Mission Springs Brewing Company can sit inside or enjoy several outdoor patio spaces. One is smoking friendly and now allows cannabis smoking and vaping. Overlooking the Fraser River, customers can order food and drinks and enjoy them while sharing a joint with friends. That sounds like like that's what we want.
Right?
We want to be able to do that. But like you say, I agree. I thought there was some things against that.
There are rules and laws that govern BC's private retail sales of liquor and cannabis.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
Well, no, I'm just reading.
Oh,
Because
okay.
it's last updated May 16th, 2024. And they've been doing some pretty fucking things around here. So let's see what they've done.
Yeah. They say that the space has about 10 tables accessible to the restaurant. So there you go. You know, we need that. We need that. You know, whether and it'd be nice eventually to bring them inside. Now, I did recently talk to a fellow. We watch his business being promoted here, and that's Wayne Matheson, and from Canada's, which is now the Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. And he had an interesting thought on this. He says, part of the Smoke Free Ontario Act laws against is the employees. What if every employee was an owner? That way you're not risking any employees.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Now there is still the issue about being able to consume inside, but because that's still part of the law. But the fact that
But if they own the building, like if they're not renting that space, if they're owning that building, wouldn't that make it their own space and it's up to them because they own it?
Well, I'm thinking residential versus commercial. Be a commercial space.
Right.
Right. So you're still inside. Whereas if it was a resident
that says that you can serve liquor and cannabis at the same time in BC.
Yeah, well, that's what that article is telling you.
Well, you know what? Good for them. I think that's great, actually.
Yeah, completely agree. And and if it's not, it's those types of things that are that pushes the boundaries.
Well, the thing is that the cannabis is over like away, and you're not serving liquor directly at that cannabis lounge. But I know with this Serve It Right, they always say that if you smell somebody with marijuana on their breath, you can no longer legally serve them in your establishment. You can no longer serve them.
You're considered impaired.
I'd have to go back to the Cannabis Service Act and see if that's changed, because that might be where the fine print has changed.
Yeah. Because if someone smells like cannabis, so they're going to serve them alcohol.
But not, and if you have a Serve It Right, you're not supposed to in this
Yeah, correct.
So they might have changed it in there. I don't know, but I just can't see that being anywhere where I see it changed. It hasn't.
Yeah, it's I'd like to. We need them.
That'd be awesome. Go and have dinner. Smoke a joint on the couch, drink after you've done your dinner. You know,
I'm all for places being allowed to serve infused food.
that too. Do that.
Oh yeah.
You have a shuttle service. Like, you know, if you're one of those places that are doing this,
Yep.
then provide a shuttle service. Pick your patrons up, let them come and have their evening out, and then make sure you get them home.
Yeah. Well, hey, I know we're not.
Driving impairment and all this other stuff. And make it so that you're not allowed to drive your vehicle to that establishment. Period.
Yeah, I know of a nationwide organization that works with people in order to help provide Uber rides home.
Well, yeah, but like make it so that it's like that's a prerequisite. You cannot make a reservation without having the shuttle pick you up. Like you're just not allowed to drive that.
Well, yeah, especially if you know okay, there's lots of people out there that can take lots of milligrammage, but there's a ton more that can't, right?
Right. But then that takes the liability off the restaurant. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like if somebody consumes too much, and make them sign a fucking waiver when they jump in that van. That's what I would do for infused cannabis.
They're not driving.
No, they can, like when you get them you don't want them to not know their limit, right? So you make them sign a waiver saying, I know that I don't know my limit, and I will not ever come back on the restaurant, blah blah blah, for me greening out. I almost feel like I'm gonna die, even though I'm not gonna die. I'm gonna feel like I'm gonna die.
Yeah, well, restaurants can send, people get drunk and get sick at restaurants or bars, right?
They have waivers if you have to, like these ghost peppers. I know these really hot peppers now. So if you go to a restaurant and serve pepper, you have to sign a waiver.
Do you? Is this a pepper that's smoking hot?
Like one that would probably, kill you.
Oh yeah, they could have those with wings. I said I know of some places that could have that with wings waiver.
Oh my god, like they're like I can't even be in the same room with it. It makes my eyes water.
Yeah. Okay. We got 7 minutes left. I got another story here from Strachan, which Canada does not import much cannabis.
No, but we export a lot.
Yeah, exactly. So I was a little surprised when I seen this article about a Danish company looking to bring its cannabis oil to Canada.
Well, you know how oil is recreational. You just rub it all over yourself.
Well, yeah. I would think that they would probably be dealing with a licensed producer that deals more along the line of the medical end of the cannabis more than the recreational, about getting it into stores.
In the rec stores.
What's that?
You can get caps and stuff.
Oh yeah, you can get capsules here.
In the stores too, I think.
Yeah, we can get capsules here.
In their health department. It's not called that.
I'm just trying to find some key words here on that to say what's the difference between this oil and anything else we can do here. They say they use a specific oil technology that significantly improves the bioavailability to the patient's blood to ensure consistent uptake of the active ingredients.
What are you doing? You're not intervening. You're not putting it in a syringe, dude.
No, what they're talking about is once you've consumed it, it gets into your blood system.
Oh yeah,
that's how those stories get started, right?
Right.
Yeah. Because somebody could very well read that and think that that's what was going on.
Well, it's kind of like when the suppositories came out. People were like, "You're mainlining that shit." I'm like, I'm not, but yeah, some people might be. Yeah.
Really? Suppositories? Cannabis suppositories?
Really? They were totally like. Some people are really offended by them, and this is because kids soak tampons in vodka and do the same thing with them. Yeah, so they can get drunk faster. So when the suppositories for cannabis came out, some people, I'm just saying, some people, I'm not saying that because we're patients, we know different and what we use them for and why we use them. But there are people that don't believe that cannabis should be legal that equate a suppository, a cannabis suppository, the same as shoving a tampon in a bottle of vodka and doing the same thing with it. Gin, vodka, alcohol, period.
Well, you don't.
Doing that, these kids. And I'm like, that would burn. That would fucking hurt. So I can't imagine anybody doing that. The suppositories don't burn, right? They don't hurt you. They don't harm you. Like it's not the same.
Oh,
Right?
no,
But this was the argument I was having with this lunatic the other day about. No, I'm not kidding.
So people are accusing people of doing that with tampons and then assuming that you're supposed to be getting drunk off of them?
Yeah, stuffing a tampon in a bowl of vodka, like you do with the suppository, right? And assuming it's the same as it is with cannabis, and I'm like, not eating now.
No.
First of all, that would burn because alcohol burns in your sensitive areas. You wouldn't want to do that to begin with.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Some people come up with some sick stories, don't they?
But they were trying to argue with me about it, not that cannabis shouldn't be being done that way. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like it's because there's Yanni Care and there's, suppositories for, erectile cancers and Crohn's disease and all kinds of things.
Oh, yeah. Cancer, bowel cancer, all that stuff.
And even for like menopause and because I said, I've got a friend that makes this, like the Yanni Care, right? Where it's, suppositories for women that when you're menopause or you got menstrual cramps and stuff, it helps. I'm telling you. But they have these ridiculous fucking stories going, well, you might as well stick your tampon in a bottle of vodka. Are you like
Legacy 420 sells the suppositories as well as the ones for the ladies.
Right?
Yeah.
Should anybody imagine equating that as sticking a tampon in a bottle of vodka?
Oh. Wouldn't that tampon expand and just sort of as it absorbs? Yeah. Wow.
No,
we just never know what we're gonna get into.
No logic on the right.
Oh, all right. That's not good.
No, I'm kidding you.
All right. Yeah. I see we got a minute until we're to the top of the hour, so we'll just go to break now. All right. And when we come back, okay, that story's out of the way. We're going to talk about an experiment that's been going on in the Netherlands, which is, I don't understand. Some people would be surprised that there's an experiment, but like this in a place like that, but there is. So we'll find out more about that when we get back from the break. You're watching the Pace Radio Show here at paceradio.net.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Cannabis edibles are an effective way to manage pain and other ailments, especially when you deal with your trusted partner, Legacy 420, in Tyendinaga Mohawk territory. You see, we lab test every product on site to ensure proper dosage every time, which is critical when consuming cannabis edibles. All Legacy 420 edibles are made by our classically trained baker and chocolatier, and we also have super tasty vegan options.
Our baker has been in the industry for 25 years. She's also a chocolatier. Everything from savory to sweet, your chocolate bars, brownies, butter tarts, you name it, we make it.
Talk to our knowledgeable Cannatex about our incredible variety available. Give your trusted partners a call. Legacy 420 out on your road.
In February of 2022, the Victoria Cannabis Buyers Club and Ted Smith were fined $6.5 million. This for helping 8,500 patients with access to medical cannabis. In our interview with Ted, he spoke to us about how people can donate to help in an upcoming court challenge. And here is part of that interview. From what I've seen lately, I believe that you've got something that you're trying to do as far as fundraising to deal with this next court challenge.
For now, people can write checks directly to Jack Lloyd Law Corporation or send e-transfers to savethevcbc@gmail.com. I guess those are the two easiest ways for people to help right now.
Pace Radio is the People Advocating Cannabis Education Radio Network.
Limestone City Hydroponics is Kingston, Ontario's hydroponics shop. Take your growing to the next level and create the optimal environment with a tent kit, or maximize your yield with an ebb and flow flood table kit. Either way, Limestone City Hydroponics has more sizes and options to fit your needs. Are you looking for the power of the sun that adapts to your budget? Then look no further, as they have professional grow lighting. They have indoor grow systems that are easy and cost effective, with many options to fit your living space and lifestyle. Cultivate your growing potential. We have everything you need to succeed. And if you can't make it to the store, they offer local delivery to the greater Kingston area. Remember, when you're looking for experts to help you grow, then look no further than the locally owned Limestone City Hydroponics, 105 Sunderland Drive in Kingston, Ontario. Call them at 613-548-0420.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.
Hey, you're watching the Pace Radio Show, and boy, that commercial was quick. It felt quick to me.
Well, you know, I find that the new intro to this my show too is good. Like, it's like just the way it's all new formatted. The way
Yeah.
love it. It's great.
Good.
But, you know, over the break, like I was doing this too. I hosted this today, but I won this from, it's called Endgame, from that pot store. Not won it.
Right.
I got them to deliver me my meds, and this was a gift. Like, they're always just giving me stuff, that place. It's just awesome. So I just wanted to shout out to the Green Gear Cannabis store.
Good. Yep.
This is another thing I wanted to, before you start going into your thing. I bought this. but what are botanical terpenes? Because that's what they've got as an additive in these.
Yeah, because terpenes come off more than just cannabis plants. So it's
Well, I know that, but it doesn't
they
say.
don't say the source.
It just says botanical terpenes. It doesn't
Correct.
say
They don't.
kind.
Yeah, it's off with something.
All right. Anyway.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it doesn't say. Yeah, because terpenes come on more than just cannabis, and if it's a pinene on one plant, it's pinene on another plant.
Well, this says huckleberry, so.
Okay, well, huckleberry then, sure.
I just opened it.
Yeah. All right, yeah. So, as I was saying before the break, Netherlands, they are doing an experiment. While Netherlands is always known for its cannabis use, it's never been legal there. And now they are experimenting with the legal market. You think experimenting, you think they'd have a bit of an idea. Okay. Now, so what they've done.
Like, am I missing something here?
Yeah, I know, eh? So what what they've done is they've set up a regulated cannabis thing that has licensed growers, and there's like 3 growers for these markets, and there's as many as 80 coffee shops in 10 cities, and they acquire the cannabis from these 3 licensed suppliers. They say that they've added to the cities, and just think, out of all these cities that are selling cannabis in Holland, Amsterdam is one of them that they're not allowed to. And it's
because they put that bylaw or something in, didn't they?
Yeah. So you can't, you would think that Amsterdam might be a place, but they're trying to deter tourism there when it comes to the cannabis end. Yeah, they don't even allow, like, you can't get into the coffee shops that were there.
Really?
Yeah, it's nasty.
Because I've never ever been able to experiment or experience Amsterdam. Now I don't even care.
No, we got it right here in Canada. We don't need to go over there. But tourists,
That's
cannabis.
ridiculous. Like,
Yeah.
I just couldn't imagine any country wanting to deter people from coming to their country for tourism. I mean, I understand these small islands and stuff don't want to be bombarded with fucking thousands and thousands of people at once. But I mean,
Yeah.
like, you gotta, isn't that economy growth? Like, isn't that jobs? Isn't that like, that's just kind of cutting off your nose?
Right. Now this is an older article, and it says that resident criteria, basically. The policy that permits only locals to use coffee shops with the goal of making tourism in the city more manageable and control the coffee shops and supply chain. They say the city's website currently advises tourists not to travel to the city unless necessary. Yeah. So there you go.
Weird. I don't know. It just seems weird. I mean, I guess we've been bombarded probably for decades for people that want to just come and smoke and hang out in coffee lounges. But I mean, that's good for business. Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, they said they did a survey. They said that 34% of the tourists indicated that they come to Amsterdam less often if they weren't able to attend a coffee shop.
No, I wouldn't go at all.
Yeah.
So there you go. Like, the whole point of going to cold. And it wasn't even that we didn't have the cannabis available in Canada. We've got some of the best cannabis in the world in Canada. You don't have to go to Amsterdam to smoke it, but it was just the whole novelty of being able to go and sit in a coffee shop and smoke some hash joints and have a European whatever, right?
Right. Yeah, they say here that I just lost it. Oh, drug trade increased because of them allowing the stores to operate like that.
They just busted a whole whack of cocaine coming out of fucking Kurdistan or Crimea or somewhere like in Europe, like hundred thousands of pounds of it. So I don't know if you hear anything about Amsterdam in that equation.
There's another one. Amsterdam drugs. It says BBC tourists face ban for cannabis cafes, and this is back in 2021.
This one got really.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess whatever floats their boat. But I know that they're more into socialism and don't really care about anybody making money. They're just all kind of like sliding through. So.
Yeah, I'm just trying to look for a spot that was explain why. Exactly why, and there had.
You understand how like the red light district and weren't they?
Well, it's still there. I mean, it's still there.
Injection Park and all these things that were doing so many good things, and they had actually like, functioning addicts that would be able to get safe supply. Like I thought Amsterdam was moving 10 times forward, but then again, things are changing. I'm glad
are changing. Oh yeah. And I see down in the U.S., one of the states has just pardoned 175,000 people for cannabis. Pardoned them. Just signed the line and said,
Biden did. Joe Biden did.
Oh no, this is the state of Maryland.
Oh.
Just the state. Yeah, no. Joe's already done it on the federal level, but this is on the state level.
I think a lot of them are state to state too, right?
Yeah, but see, if someone's been charged under the state law,
right.
if it's a federal charge, it doesn't get pardoned. It has to be charged from that, be a federal law for the federal government to pardon them.
I see.
So as a state law, it has to be the state. So I know when Biden asked for that, or when he did his pardon thing, there wasn't really piles of people in it because there wasn't a lot in the federal system under that law. But he did encourage the states to follow suit in that, and that's what's been going on as more states legalize. There is a lot of that signature of pardons, and things are being waived for simple possessions. This one here was for possession of cannabis or drug paraphernalia.
How many people?
175,000.
Holy snapping arseholes. That's a lot of people.
Yeah, yeah. And they say
175,000?
175,000. And they say that so far, according to normal in the U.S., that adds to the total of 2.5 million expunges and pardons in recent years, which is probably really just a drop in the bucket of total numbers. But you got to, a lot of these are state laws, so now it's going to be up to each individual state.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I can't see all the states.
And not all states are legal either, right? So you still have.
No, exactly, because there's still lots of states where it's still illegal, and I don't see those being removed. So.
No, I don't know what to say about them people down there.
Yeah, just it's a matter of time. Like here in Canada, there's actually that process has started now. It's ran into problems somewhere along the way. I think we reported on it recently. So
I think I read somewhere the problem was that the breakdown was that people were filling out the applications, misunderstanding, not filling the applications out properly. But the whole point of the fact is people had to apply. Right?
Yeah, you had to apply. And then there's also the level of municipal, provincial, federal. There's all that.
And I think the breakdown there pretty much, and it's not like they can go through CSIS and pick through. There's thousands and thousands of people. They would take them years to dredge through everybody's name and criminal record to fucking expunge their cannabis, right? Like it would just be. There's no way of doing it.
Well, it'd be nice if they could.
Right.
That's what computers are for.
Here can devise a program to pick up just cannabis records. And,
yeah. Well, I know. At one point, the problem was okay. The person was convicted of, excuse me, of possession of cannabis. But was there any aggravating factors around that maybe the charges were dropped in order for someone to plead guilty to that charge of possessing the cannabis?
Right.
So they want that at the time when they legalized, they wanted to make sure that they were able to look at all those factors involved in it. But
well, that could be a lot.
Look at the numbers. What was it? 800 people or something, and that was it.
They weren't taking my trafficking down to possession. There's no fucking way.
All right. Yeah. Well, didn't you say you did yours and it didn't even show up?
No, that was for something else way back when I was a kid, like younger. Like when I was in my 20s, I bounced a check and probably didn't go to court because I was scared. Didn't even realize I ended up going to court, right? I was also charged at one time when I had, an addiction problem with some cocaine. It was probably maybe that time I didn't show up or whatever. I can't remember. It's been so many fucking years. But when it came to cannabis, I just had possession charges and that 4 grams of with a trafficking charge in the mail.
Right. Yeah.
So no, that wasn't for. No, I showed up for all my court cases for cannabis. There was a time in my life that I wasn't.
I was just thinking it didn't show. It didn't show. I was thinking that you didn't show up to your court case, but it didn't. It didn't show up on the report.
Oh no, it showed up on the report. I just forgotten about it.
Oh, okay, all right.
But then my cannabis possession charges were gone, but my trafficking charges were still there.
Oh well, there you go. Your possession charges were gone.
But my possession for cocaine was still there.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right.
That wasn't gone. That's for sure. And the trafficking wasn't gone, but the 2 possession charges I have for 4 grams, was it 6 grams and 4 grams too? I think, like, always just small amounts, like all under an ounce, right? Even the cocaine was like nothing, right? Like it was nothing. It was possession, which normally they don't give you possession of cocaine. Usually it's like you got a half a gram, let's go to jail, bye. And it was just like I got an $800 fine.
Right.
But again, it's just big, and now they don't even pardon you. It's not expunged. It doesn't go away. All they do is suspend it. So
yeah. Well, a lot of pardons. They're not completely erased. They just can't be seen. They're not accessible from others. They're not supposed to be.
And you can put on a job application that you don't have a criminal record and actually not be lying, right?
Correct. Yes, and they won't see that when they do, if they ever do a criminal
Right.
record check or anything along that line. Correct.
The thing of it is, there's also Google, and if you have a criminal record, and you get a suspension, there is nothing that's saying that they can't find something on you somewhere else. Because at one time, the Lethbridge fucking Herald would write up articles about who was in court and what they did.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
who
yeah.
was there, right? So there's no way in hell that in reality you can really get rid of your criminal record.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it'll still be there. There's still something there. Because there's the police report. Like I said, if it's a municipality, there's the police report that has to be removed, and it could still be there. Or even think people, or there's reports in the newspaper about John Doe getting busted for possession of joints at some event someplace. Well, that newspaper article or whatever, it could be remain on the internet, and like you say, a quick little Google, boop, 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 and whether you've got it expunged or not.
But to be fair, I don't think most places even care about a criminal record check anymore, because all they have to do is hit Google. So it's free. A criminal record check costs a business $75, or you cost that person $75, unless you're non-for-profit, and then they give you a bit of a break on it. But it still costs money for you to get a criminal record check, right? So why would anybody pay for it when they could just hit up Google, and Google will come up with something. Always.
Something. There's always something in there, right? Unless it was before the times of the internet.
Oh no! Sometimes it can be a priority because it's
still be there.
Well, here's the thing with these fucking history, fucking Ancestry.com and Heritage, right? If people put some shitty things on there on your family tree, it comes up. We found some shit on Alvin way back, and it was like, where the fuck did this come from? It's a fucking mugshot on Ancestry.
Oh. Of him?
Yeah.
His mugshot.
Yep. Yes.
I thought this, so you can see you can put pictures on it. Like I don't have the program. I don't use their services.
Apparently, you can upload whatever you want onto it.
Oh.
Same with Ancestry.ca. Anybody can put your name in.
Well, how accurate is it then?
Right.
What says that you don't put your name in, put somebody's name in as being related to you?
Right.
Yeah, I know. I know some people who tried it long ago, but I never touched it. I don't touch that stuff.
That's why don't you find out what your DNA is? I ain't giving anybody my fucking DNA.
Yeah.
No.
I know. Yeah, mom and dad.
I'm good.
Yes, exactly. All right. So, coming up, we got a few minutes here. Next week, upcoming broadcasts for cannabis and coffee.
Yeah. So this week coming up on Cannabis and Coffee, I'm going to have Greg from G.I. Joe Productions with me, Greg Edwards, and Jack Ellerman, who was also part of G.I. Joe Productions. Mm-hmm. They made a documentary called Still Trippin' the Highway 3.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a documentary that was based on Neil Magnuson's Freedom Tours that he started back in 2006. And many of us hosted him across the country. I hosted him several times when he was rollerblading across Canada.
Yeah.
To make it to Ottawa by Remembrance Day, so he could be by the Cenotaph on Remembrance Day to honor veterans in Canada and to spread the word of cannabis freedom, what it meant to him, and what freedom really meant to him. Not just about cannabis, about how our rights were very important to him and how he felt, and he was passing that message all across the country. Anyways, we lost Neil, as many of you know, a few weeks ago to cancer, unfortunately. And Jack and Greg and Karen, Greg's wife, made this fabulous movie, and I'm in it. I think you're probably in it too, aren't you?
I don't know. I can remember it was released, and I believe that We had Greg on the Pace Radio show all those years ago, talking to us about it.
Right, but I'd forgotten that I was in it. So I played the start of it last week on my show because I didn't have a guest, and then I'm sitting there looking at it going, "Oh, I totally forgot all about that."
I'm in there.
Right, but Taven was a baby. To be fair, Taven was a baby. He wasn't even walking yet. He was under a year old, and here we are, right? And here's Taven, and it's like that's 15 years ago.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
Right. So yes, we'll have. And Jack was the sidekick with Neil, did all their crazy things, and I think they ended up at Shambhala that year, and they did some pretty wild stuff. Anyway, Jack's a great guy too, so he's going to be on the show with Greg.
Talking old times, and I'm sure showing some clips.
Well, they did some really amazing things. They went to Rocky Mountain Hemp and talked to Roger Stone, who is the owner of Rocky Mountain Hemp, and just some of the clips from that movie really bring back the austerity of how hemp is important to us, and how difficult it was for Roger to get his product out to the public, and now it's everywhere. So, it just takes us back to, I guess, where we came from, where we came from.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly. And as far as ourselves here on the Pace Radio Show, next Wednesday we have a guest.
I know you said we have a guest, and we have another guest.
That's right. So we have next 2 weeks. We got guests. I like having guests, and I like having just our conversations as well. So our guest next week, Nikki Lawley, will be on the broadcast. Got her card right here.
Yep. Yeah.
This is quite the card. Like, check this out.
Wow.
This is
a lot of information, right?
Yeah. It's her pocket guide, and inside it, and we'll talk to her next week about this. But yeah, it's got information on terpenes and cannabinoids, and
that's terrific,
and everything on there.
That's great. And I think that people that are growing at the licensed production levels and the microcrafting levels are checking on their terpenes and wanting to grow the best quality. Because I'm telling you, like, from the very beginning to the end, things are a lot better. Like, I pick up even some farms. I was on their pink kush. It's kind of pretty dang good right now.
So for those who don't know Nikki, we'll be talking about her patient's story, brain injury, and how cannabis has helped her. So you do not want to miss that. No. And then the following week, we're going to have, just before this broadcast, I almost thought I was going to have him on for a guest for tonight, but and that in 2 weeks we're going to have Chris Backer on the show. We haven't had him a long time on any show,
right?
And
hard to hook up with them Nova Scotia folks.
Correct, exactly. And he's doing a fundraiser thing where he's selling T-shirts in order to raise some money, because it does take money to do these things. For those who don't know, Chris, like Neil, cannabis substitution program, but Chris does it on the East Coast, and you gotta be able to buy supplies of things, right? And that takes cash to do so, right?
Yeah, and donations, and since patients are not growing like they used to be, and the big. We don't have the black market as much as we used to. The donations aren't as fruitful. And that's really tough, because I talked to Neil about this 3-4 years ago when I moved back here to do it here, but never was able to get the donations. And you really need to have donations and have money.
Yeah, and to be able to operate, you need those donations, because without them,
and a table, and a tent, and you have to have startup, and you can't just go. I mean, Neil did it out of the back of his van, to be fair. But he just opened the back doors and just fling up boxes of weed, right? And it was like there was no structure to it. Over time, it evolved to what it was.
Correct. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. All righty. So yeah, Chris will join us next in 2 weeks, and it'll be interesting to talk to him about the work that they're doing, there, and helping patients. And those living on the street and addicted to drugs. Right? So, Let's see. We got 3 minutes. Got anything?
Well, I just wanted to call back that band down on the east side is a real safety zone for those people. Some of them don't go there because they want the cannabis. They just go there and hang out around there because they know it's a safe zone. It's pretty creepy down there. Like if you're like a young man or a young woman or in downtown east side all by yourself, even if you're not using, that van somewhere that you could go to because the people are kind there, right?
Yeah.
And they're
as you mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast, you mentioned that Chelsea and Naomi were out there.
Yeah.
And Naomi commented about that on her Facebook wall, what it's like down there on the east side. And the way I took it was, like, wow.
Well, cannabis culture and the mushroom stores and all the dispensaries that they're still there are all in that area, right? So when you went to go to pot, like when you go to the cannabis culture, you think you're going to cannabis culture in some swanky downtown Vancouver neighborhood. You're not. What I mean? The Amsterdam is below it, and then you go and it's like you go upstairs into this creepy old building, and it's that's nice. Like I mean, it's swanky looking when you get inside and been really well taken, maintained and renovated, but it's not in the best neighborhood. No, yeah.
Yeah, because I know Naomi had asked about lounges where she could go and medicate and sit down and smoke there, and there were some names and places that were mentioned.
Probably the Amsterdam would probably be the only place that she was able to access because to get up to cannabis culture, you're going up like 6 flights of stairs.
Actually, she posted a picture of Michelle Rainey. And she talked about the 4+ sets of stairs to get
she
there.
made it up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's like probably 4 or 5 flights of stairs to get up there. Because when you will first walk in, it's the bong store, right? And at one point in time, Chris Bennett had his shaman's little store in the back of the store as well.
Okay,
right? Urban Shaman is what it was
Urban
called.
Shaman.
Urban Shaman, right? So when we were there back during Mom Cup, me, Deb, and Kim were there, right? And we stopped in there. But when you first walk in, it's a bong store. And then it's like not really like you kind of have to know there's a vapor lounge there. Like it's not just like, especially now, right?
Right.
When you go up 6 sets of stairs, but there's offices. So you go up the first set and the second set, and that's where Jody and Mark's offices used to be or are, and where the production, and then another set of then that's where all the hot TV and stuff is done on that floor.
Oh, yeah.
And then the top level is all the lounge.
Sorry, it's just something off camera.
Hi, Gail.
Hello. Yeah. The dog wants in, and obviously.
Oh, did you hear this thing? She's so needy. Like that's Naya, and she's over there because she wants in the bedroom. But this thing's working. I've just been holding this down, and it's working. She shut right up.
Oh, way to go!
Clicker. I love it.
Well, that went down the wrong pipe. Yeah, she's sitting there at the top of the stairs waiting for me. That's the dog, waiting for her nighttime walk. So
right,
we should get at her.
Right.
Okay. She just ran by me, going, "All right, we're going for a walk."
9:30 your time, right? So I mean, it's like it's getting on 9:30.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's 9:30 my time, and from here, anyways. From
it's 7:30 my time. So
I can look out the window at the top of the stairs, and I can see that there's still some brightness in the sky because I can see the silhouette of the leaves in the tree.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it's staying light till about 10 o'clock.
Yeah. Well, here we are. We're the solstice is
tomorrow.
Exactly. Tomorrow's the 20th.
Yeah, it's tomorrow.
Yeah. So today, tomorrow, longest days of the year, right?
Yep, so. It is. I know, and it's cold. I don't know. My peonies aren't even blooming. Like, what in the actual fuck?
Gail would love your weather.
It's not that I'm complaining, but we're supposed to go up to 30 degrees next week. So you go from 4 to fucking 40 in a week. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Well, ours is gonna get a little cooler next week, but it's still gonna be in the high 20s.
Until Gail got a fucking sweater on.
You got I'll let Gail know you got a sweater on and a heating blanket.
Yeah.
She says, "Oh my God."
Right? Seriously. Like I'm sitting here like, okay, yeah, my toes are frozen. Okay, I took my socks off. Like it's cold. Like I think it was 6 degrees here today.
6.
6.
That's your high. Wow. Oh yeah, no, ours was
Right?
36.
Right. So you guys are burning up out there down east. We see that like 35 degrees and everybody's melting and we're like, oh, we're sitting on the beach. And I'm like, fuck you. I'm sitting in a sweater. Like, how would you dare you sit on the beach, you fuckers? Like, but at the coast, my daughter's sitting in her backyard sun tanning. So it's just like here it's fucking cold.
Cold. Yeah, it's nice
Yeah.
and
And Alberta. They got snow and stuff and it's cold through there.
Yeah. Snow in Alberta. It's June.
It's snow out here too, right? We had that snow at the top of our mountains, but like I said,
yeah. Top of the mountain, that makes sense.
Well, we have Baker Mountain out here, right? And you usually don't plant anything until there's no snow left on the top of that mountain. And there's lots of snow still left on that mountain.
Yeah.
Tons.
Exactly.
So yeah.
All righty. Well, I see it's about on the hour. Everybody tune in next week. You do not want to miss this story of Nikki Lawley. One of those can't miss amazing stories. There's no doubt about that. So.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah, and like a lot of us patients, we just can't shut up, and we gotta tell everybody what's going on, and the benefits. So, all right, anything you want to say? Did we forget anything before I sign us off?
No, I think we're good. Like I said, Cannabis and Coffee Monday at noon. We'll have Jack Ellerman and Greg Edwards. And other than that, you guys have a great week. We'll see you next week.
I just want to touch on one thing. And that's, I'm going to do a shout out to a lady I've never met before. And to her daughter, who's no longer with us. She's from a town that I lived in for 40 some odd years. And that's from Campbellford. She's been in the news lately. And that's because she has sued your province.
Ashley Johnson.
No, this is Sam O'Neill's parents, Gay and Jim O'Neill. They are.
There's more. Good grief.
Oh yeah. This is all over the MAID program. She is a cancer patient who required the MAID program, but she was at a Catholic church, at a Catholic hospital, and they wouldn't perform the MAID.
No, you have to be of sound mind. And you know what the thing of it is when you're doing cancer treatments, they give you hydromorphine. And if you're on hydromorphine, you are not in your right mind, and they will.
Yeah, well, they have her heavily sedated so that they could move her.
Yeah, I know the same thing my friend does. They did the same thing to him.
Yeah. They're just they're screaming. They're all over the news, and they're not alone.
Prolongs their life, and everybody's like, the thing is, people don't understand how that program works. But anyways, you go ahead and shout out.
There's doctors involved in it. The whole bit, it's making the patient suffer based on relief.
So is she now no longer with us then, right? She did pass.
Correct. Yeah. Their daughter Sam died. The last time that they saw her was sitting on a commode, so heavily sedated, so they could transfer it. So they could transfer her to another facility that is run by the same company. So you tell me that the company can do it at one place, but they won't do it at another. St. Paul's Hospital. It's Catholic run hospital.
That here in British Columbia?
Correct.
Oh fuck yeah! You're kidding me. That's ridiculous.
St. Paul's. They wouldn't do it.
Oh, because it's a Catholic fucking church.
Catholic hospital. Correct.
Oh my God, how did she get there to begin with?
She had no choice.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucking horrible.
Oh, it is. So it's all over the news. CTV, CBC, other news agencies. This video. Yeah, I watched the video that was posted. So,
and she's from your town, Campbellford.
She's living in the town of Campbellford now. That's where. And their daughter Sam lived out in British Columbia. She was 34 years old, and says, I believe it was cervical cancer. She wanted
At
me.
34, they didn't catch that, and she died at 34 of cervical cancer that can be easily cured, like preventable.
I'll send you the links.
Oh my gosh, that's just the worst thing. I can't even. That's just horrible.
Oh yeah, yeah. So, that's where my shout out goes to.
Absolutely, I 110% on that.
No. All right. Other than that, you can find us on Twitter, X, or whatever you want to call it. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're online. You can find us. Other than that, thanks to our sponsors, Legacy420.com, the Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, as well as Limestone City, Hydroponics.ca. Plus to you guys, the viewers, for everybody who tuned in tonight, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, X. I saw you all flashing on the screen. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in. And other than that, good night. We'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Let's share PACE everywhere. That way it can help create peace. People everywhere advocating cannabis education.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.